In this video, we are going to learn how to get started with Unreal Engine 5 by creating your first project. If this is your first time opening Unreal, this will be similar to what you're going to see. You'll see a bunch of templates here for different purposes. Unreal has a lot of uses, and you will also see options on the right for each of these templates. You can always start off with a blank template, whether it's a film template or a game template, and add elements in there. Or if you know that you want to make a first person, third person game, you can start off with one of these templates. For the game templates, you'll notice that it gives you the option between Blueprint and C++. The commonly used one, especially if you're not a coder, is the Blueprint, and you can then choose other options here that will help you get started with that template. In my case, I want to create a project that is going to help me render out an environment. I don't really want to create a game in this case, so I'm going to go with the film, video, and live event templates. You have a few options here, but I don't really want to have anything in my file, so I'm going to start with a blank project. And you can set your project defaults to have starter content. This is just going to bring in some of the default meshes and materials that Unreal Engine has. If you don't want these meshes, you can turn this off, but this is just a good reference to have. Even if you enable the starter content and have that in there, you can always delete it as you get further into the project. So I'm going to leave that on. And you choose a project location. Make sure this has enough space. Unreal projects tend to get pretty big in size. And then choose a project name. I'm going to call mine test project. And then you hit create. When you hit create, Unreal is going to take a bit, but it's going to create your project and it's going to show up. This is the workspace that's going to show up when you create a blank project, and you can bring in your assets into this workspace. Let's also take a look at what Unreal Engine does when it creates a project. We'll go to our File Explorer, and this is where I've stored my Unreal projects. I'm going to open this project out and see what it has. So there are some default folders, these ones, that contain just information about your specific project. These are necessary for the engine to run, for your project to work correctly. And then you have your content folder that has your starter content. And these elements here are your workspace. So Unreal Engine works with levels, and you have a main level, which is what you see over there in the content. And then you have your starter content, which is basically Unreal Engine's basic default elements that it can bring in if you wanted to. Within your project, you will be able to see all these elements within the content drawer. So if you go to the bottom left, you can open the content drawer and you can see all these elements here. You'll notice that you don't see all the elements that you have here, like the derived cache data, intermediate, you don't see all of that. You are just able to see the content because this is what you need to work within the project.